Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Racing Series Formula One special event tonight. I did say that we're going to be offline for a little while, but over the course of the weekend, I thought through a Christmas special we would host a Formula 2 event. It's going to be quite an interesting lineup. I've took the first 20 drivers that signed up for this race and completely randomized the teams. So there's a mixture of all divisions in this race, from F5 to F1, and the team pairings are very well matched as well. So you've got an F1 driver with an F4 driver, etc., etc. What else to say, really? I do hope you enjoy this race. It's going to be in some interesting scenarios as well, because this time as well tonight, for the first time in an RSF1 lobby, we are running with simulation damage. So the drivers will not be able to make lunges like they do with full damage and everything, so they will have to look after their cars as well. We'll be running a full event, which will be 30 minutes qualifying, 50% feature race and a 25% sprint race. And now I'm going to hand you over to our hosts of the evening, which won't be myself. I will be watching on the sidelines as well. And also, any drivers that are out there watching this as well, please remember this is an RSF1 lobby. This is an RSF1 league race still. Although some of the rules have changed, most of the principles still remain the same. So if you do something absolutely stupid that would normally get you kicked out, it does mean it will happen in this race as well. But have fun at the same time. I want a relaxed and good atmosphere. Right, over to RSF1 Brundle and Primus Gaming. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening. Thank you very much, Raikkonen. If you could watch the stream, Raikkonen, and if there's any problems, just message me in the party chat so I can know, because I won't have the stream coming up.
Yep.
Yes, good evening. Yeah, as Raikkonen said, a little bit of relaxed kind of field today, although we still are going to be slightly competitive. There is going to be points awarded and a championship at the end of the day. We'll figure all that out over the course of the evening, and it is going to be a very long one. A 30-minute qualifying, a 50% race, which will last just under an hour, I think, and a 25% race, 25%, which is about half an hour, just over. There are certain rules for that as well, because this is the F2 cars after all. And they are very, very different. But as Raikkonen said, I'm RSF from Brundle, and it should be a fun one. Good evening to you, Primus. How are you on this very fine Sunday evening?
I'm very good. Normally this would be your day to race and my day to host the stream, but because of the Christmas break, a bit of a change. Happy to see Codemasters have entered in the 2020 edition of the F2 cars. Personally, I took one around Mexico the other day and did about 40 laps because I was just having too much fun with the cars, and they're much better than the previous year's versions. And to see we're doing a proper event now is literally as soon as Raikkonen came out of the announcement that it's going to be held, I got super hyped. And then as soon as you put up the message bundle saying that, who'd like to join me, I had to get in that. Because first of all, since whenever you and I have been in the same commentary box, starting a lobby.
Very rare.
Yeah. The only time I've ever been with you in a commentary box is when I didn't even really get to start Baku, and so I stepped in with you there. So it's good to actually officially be a commentator of the day and not just a quick hop in.
We can go over a few differences as to what people are going to be expect to see tonight, because, as I said, this is very different to Formula 1. Obviously, we are going around on track, and we're going to be seeing this track a lot, because there's a lot of track time that we'll be watching. But it's a full 30-minute qualifying to begin with. And this is important because pole position, first off, gets 4 points for this little mini championship, I guess, or the mini event. So very, very key. And you can use as many tyres as you like, I believe. So plenty of time. And a lot of people will use this as a practice session, I think, Primus as well, because of how long it is. They're going to have to sort of build their way into the session,
and also,
rather than...
Also, I do want to bat in on this one as well. They're going to use it as a practice session as well, because do remember, the part of the change of the rules of this F2 event is there are no custom setups allowed. They're only allowed the
I was going
five.
to mention that.
They're only allowed the 5 presets that the game selects. So it's going to be interesting to see as well who's going to go for speed, who's going to go for the grip and the downforce.
A quick question for you, Raikkonen.
Mhm.
Personally, if you was to take these cars around this track, would you prefer less downforce, or would you like to just have that little bit more in the mid sector?
I don't know, because the simple fact is about Bahrain, it is quite, you need to have a little bit of speed as well. And like I do like a loose car myself. I like the car to be able to slide.
Oh, you like a looser rear end?
Let's not go there, Randall. Yeah, so it's, for me personally, I'd probably go preset 4 on
It's
it.
the
Fair enough, that's-
slightly higher downforce, isn't it?
No, it's a slightly higher speed.
No.
That's
Higher speed.
yeah, one's got
See-
highest downforce and 5 is the lowest downforce setting you can have, I think.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. So it's yeah. Back over to you.
Yeah, sorry, thank you, Raikkonen. So yes, so it's going to be a long session. We'll take the time during the qualifying to go through the runners and riders. You can see them in the lobby at the moment. I'm filtering through them, but we'll kind of go in detail because obviously we've got plenty of time to stall and have a look as they go through their qualifying laps. And it's just, as I said, it's going to be a building process. These guys they have been practicing, but they're not going to be 100% familiar, so the times will begin to drop completely. The difference is also, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but it's not like F1 where if you qualify, say, on the soft tyres, you have to start on the soft tyres, because it's a specific set, isn't it?
I do believe so. To be honest, to quote me all the rules and regulations of F2, I wouldn't have the slightest Scooby-Doo, mate, because they are.
I looked into this last night, so
I did it for the fun factor.
I
Well,
did my research.
we
Yeah,
do,
well, this is
we do
good.
have to. We do have to say though, because this does reintroduce the returning of the super soft compound tire, the purple ball, which hasn't been seen since 2018, if I'm correct.
And
Yeah.
what I'm looking forward to seeing as well is racing cars with 18-inch alloy, 18-inch wheels rather than the 13s.
It'd be
Oh,
like
you like the 18 wrench.
Oh, I do like
Wrench?
18
Inch.
Yes, I do like 18 inches.
wrench. I like my 18 wrenches right there.
Yeah. Yeah, so I believe qualifying is one set of tyres, so they can go through those as much as they can, basically, multiple laps, so on and so forth. The feature race, so that's going to be the first race up, and qualifying determines the grid for that. The feature race is you have 2 sets of compounder tyres, one obviously softer but grippier but won't last as long, like a soft or a super soft, and then you go to the harder compounder tyre, which could be the mediums or the hards, which obviously aren't as quick but last longer, and you have a choice to start on either the softer compound or the harder compound, and obviously you can see where I'm going from there. So people can do it tactically. Do they start on the hard tyres, try and keep their grid position and then be obviously quick at the end, or do guys be quick at the beginning and then obviously they'll have to go on the hard tyre and try to hold their gains which they've made. So that'll be interesting to see going into that. Also, next thing is obviously only the top 10 get points. So those are the normal 25, 18, 15, so on and so forth. Extra points for fastest lap. But then it gets slightly complicated, I believe, for the sprint race, Primus. I believe you know, or do you know the system for that?
So basically, after the feature race, the top 8 of the feature race will then be completely reversed. So, for example, say if Connor Todd won the race, Blazer Guns got second, then basically it will put but Connor at the back at 8th and Blazer in 7th, etc. Basically, that's the full gist of it. Am I right in seeing the pit walls look? Oh, I thought it was a glitch of the game, but it's just because obviously there's no official stuff there. It looks a little bit bare.
It's all kind of creepy, actually.
RSF1's also doing Christmas and Halloween, apparently.
Alright, so there we get going. So we are under the floodlights in Bahrain. We haven't even talked about the track yet that has been chosen, and I must say, Raikkonen, what a perfect choice it is, because this track is killer for overtaking and racing. Primus, I hope you agree on this.
Yeah, definitely. I think especially these cars, because when they're going through turn 1, they're going to need to be careful, because with F2 cars in general, even though these ones are much better than the 2019 variants, if you're in the low gears, such as gear 1 and 2, you have to be careful with the amount of throttle that you apply, because that can easily send the car into a spin, and it looks like these guys are even picking hard compound tyres to use. Also, the famous, I think it's turn 13, the right-hander. If you catch that curb on the inside, I mean, it's a killer for F1 cars, but for Formula 2 cars, God forbid, if anyone touches that, that's going to be a nasty spin.
Yes, the drivers are heading out at the moment, and as you say, some of them are on the hard compounder tyres. Obviously, I think at this point, they're just getting their groove into the track, those on the hard tyres at the moment. They're obviously not going to set their fastest lap on hard as well.
Cars! It's so nice!
You'd be very surprised.
I can't hear it at the moment. I'm going to mute my mic in a little while. Is it okay if I stick around in the party? Because if you want, I'll interact with the stream as well at the same time. Because
more than welcome, mate.
What be one less job for you guys to do, and actually to be able to enjoy this race as well. Because I can already see it. I can brew it. It's fun. We've already got 16 viewers in the first 11 minutes. So hopefully, as the race gets on, we'll get more.
Don't you agree though, lads? The one thing I love about Formula 2 compared to Formula 1 is obviously the huge variance in terms of colours and liveries, because all cars don't have the same. Well, obviously the team has 2 cars, but both cars are kind of different in their sponsors and partially in livery.
And that's also made it a very interesting choice for the drivers as well, because if you're in the same team as a teammate, who wants what colour of the cars? Because which one is the Team Primer? Mitch. LR
Evo has got Mick Schumacher's car.
Yeah, so Team Primer, one of them's got blue strips on it, and then Mick's hasn't.
There you go. There's the difference. I just highlighted that actually.
Yeah.
While we're on that topic, by the way, I know we've already done it once, but I think we should all give another big congratulations to Mick Schumacher for winning the Formula 2 World Championship, who will now be joining the Haas Formula 1 team for 2021 alongside Nikita Mazepin. So an interesting lineup for the Haas team, and I think it's good to see the Schumacher name return to the sport.
Yeah, definitely. And let's just hope if he's got half of what his dad had, he'll be on to great things. But it's interesting to see what I've been reading in the media as well about that, because Mattia Binotto is saying that he expects to get Mick Schumacher in a Ferrari by 2023.
And that obviously means that something will happen to either Carlos Sainz, depending if Carlos even gets a seat in 2022, and Charles Leclerc.
Well, Charles is on a 5-year deal, so he's got until 2024 at Ferrari, I think.
So it's only really Carlos Sainz that sort of only really has a couple of years to spend with the Scuderia. Recently, he actually took his first day in the Ferrari factory getting his fittings.
Yeah, it's going to be I'm not 2021 season. Let's just face it, it's probably going to be another Mercedes whitewash.
More than likely. Connor Todd sets the first lap on the board of 41.187. Obviously, the time's going to be a lot slower than people recognise, as Gonchastrophe tops that by 0.4 of a second, also on the hard tyres. Again, these times are going to drop down as people get used to again the F2 cars, as we see a car off on the left-hand side.
Looks like it's
Renault.
It's KTS Draco. Oh, he's actually sustained wing damage.
Mm.
So it looks like he might have probably gotten caught out by what I was saying earlier. Low gears, especially around turn 1, 2, and 3, if you apply too much throttle carelessly in these cars, even if you have traction control on, it will send the car into complete disaster in terms of control.
Yeah, these are different animals to train.
Yeah. I had a little run around in one of them earlier around this circuit, and the first thing you notice really is the brakes. They're not as strong at all compared to F1 cars. So you've got to really get control of your braking, and as you say, Primus, the traction control as well. I run medium traction. It's as if I'm running no traction on these cars. So again, a lot of these drivers are going to have to get used to their surroundings, but they have a 30-minute qualifying session, kind of a practice at the same time. So
two things. Another thing to add on about these cars is the aero. They're not as strong as Formula 1 cars. So again, as well as traction, braking, and the aero, all drivers must take care. Even if they go for a high downforce setup, it doesn't mean you're safe. These cars are still quite unpredictable with their control. And this is the first time RSF1 has held an official event with these cars. So these drivers have to take extra care. And the second thing is, Buddha, give us a wave. Buddha, give us a wave.
I was going to say.
Oh, I miss seeing this man
It's
on track.
Buddha!
Oh my god.
It's going to be a lot of the references since I am now a reference.
Also, that's actually a good moment to also give a big shout out to Tim and Ike. If anyone was wondering what that reference is, please search up Tim and Ike on YouTube and check out his RSF1 meme review. Be warned, there is a little bit of explicit language in there, so it's not for the faint of heart, but it is a bit of a laugh to have, especially after a bit of a difficult year in real life and RSF1. It's just nice to have a little bit of a change and have something funny. So please check it out and give Tim the love that he deserves, because he put a lot of work into that.
Also, the other thing from Timmer, which...
Tim and Ike, sorry.
Tim and Ike, yes, Tim and Ike. It's very,
we
very
both
different
muddled up.
Yes. Tim and Ike sent me some updated camera settings for the streaming account. So basically, when we get back to F1 in Brazil in January, you'll see slight difference to the TV pod cameras, which I'm obviously on board with Haroldinho right now. Now the problem is, I would have done it with the F2 cars, but unfortunately you can only set it to one car, and that's it. So you're not going to see any difference tonight. But I have played around with it a little bit, so it's slightly different than the normal TV pod camera that you see. But thank you very much, Tim and Ike. Yep, they definitely look a little bit different and a lot more realistic.
Ooh,
updated, if that makes sense.
Oh, never mind. I thought that was a little bit of teamwork by both the things like the ARTs. I don't even know. FRT Invade and Haroldinho almost look like they're both giving each other the toe, except for they both invalidated. I thought there was a little bit of teamwork already coming into play, but that's the only issue about the F2 cars, is because we've not used them at all. This is a brand new set of cars that have just been delivered to us from Codemasters. And also we don't hold any official F2 championships at all within RSF1. When you're trying to remember the name of the cars, it's so hard. All I know is the Primas.
I thought they were called Primas.
Prema. I'm not really sure.
Prema. Anyway, shall we go over our runners and riders for tonight?
Yeah.
Get used to them. Right, let's start off with the first person on our list, who is currently top at the moment on a 40.2. It's Grundtastrophe in ART. I think that's called ART. I can see it. I can see it. There we go. So obviously Grundtastrophe, you know Primus, because he's in the F2 Championship in the F1 series.
Your teammate as well.
My teammate, yes, let's not forget that. He's my teammate also. I also forgot that at that moment. I'm sorry, Grunt.
A couple of familiar faces, obviously. Raikkonen is a fellow F4 driver who's joining us in the comms box for today, which also, by the way, Raikkonen, it's actually quite nice to have a three-way comms team for once. I know this is just a one-off event, but it's nice because it means we've got the extra ability to have some more topics in terms of the races that we're about to see tonight, the cars, the drivers. So it's going to be quite fun, not just for the racing, but I think just for the pure comms work today as well.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting event. I just want the laid back feel, as well as at the same time enjoying a full league race included. So it's like you say, it's completely different. F1 cars, not F1 cars, F2 cars, and the actual people that are driving, the mix of the grid that we've got from all the tiers as well. You've got some of the best drivers like RSF1 Eastern for the moment, who's just recently been crowned our Division 1 champion, He's racing along with RS Pross, who was recently in the running in the F4 Championship. Still in that, I do believe. Is that right, Brundle?
Yeah, he is.
Yes.
He just had
Mathematically.
a bit of a poor Mexico Grand Prix due to his DNF. Oh, KCS Draco's just spun it. Oh, he's in the wall. He's out of the session. That's KTS Draco's qualifying cut short. Again, that's what I told you to. If you apply too much throttle, which he did exactly, these cars will punish you in the instant. And also, what I was about to say is also not just brand new crown champions and also runners for championships. The Season 1 Formula 2 champion by the F2 division, Magic Marks, he's also joined in the fray.
Yeah. So,
actually,
Tim has just been getting a bit sideways there.
The first crowned champion, by the way, of RSF1 of all time.
Yeah, because he done it in Season 1 Mexico, I do believe, in the Haas.
And F2's normally always been the first race day of the week, so obviously F2 beat the F1 division to it in terms of crowning a champion. And also the fact that Marks had been gone for a while, it's good to see him back on the grid in F2, but mainly good to see him in this F2 feature or special event. So, we've had a Prima spun as well. A Prima, or whatever it's the blue one. That's LR laser guns.
Laser guns, yeah. Gruntastrophe's teammate is Little Sparks. I believe he's F3.
No, he's F3.
F3. I think. Yeah, F3.
3. Yeah, so they're both in the ART. Next team is RSF1 Vettel. Obviously, all three of us know from the F1 division. He's in the Carlin. It's good actually because on the TV pod it actually tells you what team it is. I've just noticed.
Also,
on some of them do.
Also, the man who also tends to hound me for doing Star Wars references during the formation laps and qualifying.
Prost.
No,
Vettel. Fair enough.
Long story, I won't mention it now.
I can tell you one thing there. There's an interesting chat going on in the stream chat. Grantastrophe, he's got it all. He's in the pits at the moment, so he's watching the stream. And he's like, "Can we get a tally count for Blazer's spins?"
Unfortunately, that's got to go to Tim and Ike.
Hippo Man's predicted 53.
That's quite excessive. I highly doubt will even hit past 20.
Ooh, I think that's a very wide line.
That's an esports line. It's the esports line. We should know this. If you go off the track all four wheels, it's esports line. Look at them there. Look at them there. Order behind him as well. Yeah, Prost in the Carlin car as well. Harold Tino's left the session. Could you pop an invite, please, Mr. Primus?
I will indeed.
Okay, next up is Easton. Has actually popped himself into second place. I question mark what team he's in. I don't know that car. Is that MP Motorsport?
He is currently in the
Campos car.
So
obviously Easton as
Bodder. No, Tim is his teammate.
Yeah, Tim is his teammate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, as Raikkonen said, current or recently crowned F1 champion out of Mexico this last week we were live broadcast. Yeah, definitely an up and coming, very quick racer, looking quick tonight as well, currently second on the hard tyres. Yet to see the people go onto the mediums, but they're ready to go soon. And his teammate is Timmer.
Oh, Timmer had a slight little bit of oversteer coming out of turn 1. But he managed to regain control. He's driving Aitken's car.
Yeah, lovely little black and orange car there.
Mm.
Next up, we have I can't see the car at the moment, but we have Connor Todd and is his teammate Locker? I'm getting confused. Is it teammate Lukey?
No, Connor Todd's in the Trident, and that means Lukey is his teammate because Locker's in the Charot racing system team.
Okay, see, fair enough.
Oh, RSF1 Vettel's just gone fastest with the
Oh
1:41.07.
no, Easton instantly just responded.
Oh, yes!
39.6.
There's a reason why Easton's been crowned the season 3 F1 champion. Even in F2 cars,
Goodness me.
he's still not phased.
And that's on the hard tyres as well. He's going to go quick on the mediums when he straps them on.
Faster than Catastrophe in third and on the medium compound, by the way. Same with Connor Todd.
I know they've
Sitting in the
already
pits.
Oh, I
set
got
theirs
unfitted.
on the
My
hards.
bad.
Yeah, they're unfitted. That's why. So Easton and obviously Timmer we know from the F5 division. Then we've got the first of the Bremans. We've already seen them before. LR Evo, I believe, is a tier 3 driver. Drives a Ferrari, funnily enough. So aren't the
there.
Prema like junior F1? Junior Ferrari? Yeah, you can see that on the side.
Basically, at the moment, both Prema drivers are part of the Ferrari Academy.
Oh, fair
Well, they
enough.
were anyway, until obviously Mick Schumacher's now come to F1, so they'll be getting a new person.
Yep, and he's partnered up with LR Blazer Guns. So they're both F3 drivers. They're not both Ferrari drivers in F3 division.
They're both LRs.
Yeah, and they're quite close to one another as well, which is pretty good. Next we have
Oh!
Locker.
Blazer! He just Tokyo drifted it around turn 1.
Came off of him there as well.
Like, literally, he downshifted too early. The car instantly responded with extreme hate, and he managed
Locker.
to keep it.
Yeah, I just saw Locker, nice little, is that turn 10 I believe it is, in the Charus car.
I tell you what I'm interested in is this corner they're
Chabrol,
on
I
now. This corner they're in, and the long right hander now that Locker's just come round for you guys.
The understeer. Jeez.
Yeah, think about behind other cars in the race. Yeah.
I see.
Dirty air, and if you're running a low downforce setup, core going around turn 13 is going to really punish you, especially if you're a wheel user, because you're going to be fighting that wheel with everything you've got and suffering with the dirty air at the same time.
Yes, because I know there's a certain man, like his name is Bodder, who does like a lot of force feedback in his wheel.
But speaking of Bodder, he actually improved himself up into P8. He's ahead of his teammate, who he actually gave the nickname Magic Man to. So he's ahead of the Magic Man and in the top 10. So good to see Bodder up there.
Yeah. Connor Todd in the Trident. Yeah, I'm going to get used to these eventually. We've got an hour and a half to kind of get used to them anyway. He's going to be one of the first drivers on the medium tyre here. So started to pick up business, 11 and a half minutes to go. This is where people start using the medium tyres, start doing their qualifying laps.
I'm just saying, I know we've only really just gone just about nearly 20 minutes into the stream, and with this qualifying event with these F2 cars, but I'm absolutely in love with these cars. They're so magnificent to look at, they sound amazing, and they are just so fun to drive.
It's basically gone back. It's part of racing, the core principle of racing. Something light, something loud, and something nimble. And that's what these cars are. They are nimble cars, and what's so interesting about it? All the cars are the same engine and the same chassis.
So all that really is around here is track acclimatization as well as really skill of these cars.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I mean, that's kind of the same with normal RSF1 in terms of racing in the Formula 1 cars, except for the difference of, again, track acclimatization, confidence, and as well as setup. Because, as you said, today there is no custom setups. This is all completely relying on the 5 default setups that you established earlier, Raikkonen. And yeah, again, that it will play a factor in terms of who chose what setup and which one prevails.
Yeah, you say that though about with F1 being equal. If I apply it, because I'm an AlphaTauri at the moment, so if I set a car up for AlphaTauri around Bahrain, and then go slap that setup in a Ferrari with the same equal performance, it just does not feel the same. I have to change the tune and set up.
That's why I prefer doing a custom car in like time trial, because that's practically just, it's not a Mercedes, it's not a Red Bull, it's not anything. It's just pretty much just a bland car at that point. So when you put on any of the other cars, it's not going to really be that much different. But I do agree with you. If you had a setup for an AlphaTauri and you slap that on a Ferrari, it's not going to be the same.
No, not at all, because like the way the Ferrari behaves under corners and stuff like that. I just honestly believe that when you say equal performance, it's that engine performance rather than actual downforce.
Because and
the way the car behaves.
We all know. I mean, if you went in time trial, the best car for speed and all that is the Mercedes, but I think the best handling car of a lot of them is the Red Bull. I mean, if you're a track like Mexico, the Mercedes is all right, but if you had a Red Bull around there with that aero difference compared to the Merc, you'll handle the S section in Mexico a lot more easier.
Yeah, it's just the way the cars are made and everything like that. But no, let's get back to this interesting qualifying, because we've got 8 minutes left of the session. So I'm going to let you guys go away for a bit. I'll still be about and everything, but take the show and. Let's see some hot laps and let's see some action on the track.
Sweet. So, interestingly, Connor Todd improved massively because obviously he's on the medium tyre, the faster compound, but wasn't able to beat Easton's time on the hards, which says a lot about Easton's time at the moment. Looking very good so far, but anybody get close to him. So the second lap on the medium tyre is going to be something we haven't mentioned yet, FRT Invade, in the... What car is that?
That's the Dam.
Oh, the Dams. Yeah, the Dams car. He's partnered with Haroldinho at the moment. Got a heck of a lot of understeer through turn 13 now. Expecting him obviously to improve on his 42.3.
Purple second sector?
It's just personal best, isn't it?
No, that's purple. He's gone fastest in the second sector.
Alright, fair enough. See what time he comes across into the final corner. Of course, the other thing we haven't mentioned yet, Primus, which is the big thing, no ERS.
Yeah.
At all in these cars.
P5 from FRT Invade, a big step up from P13. Well done to FRT. But yeah, you are correct. Today, all these drivers are going to be relying on is their fuel mixes, the DRS assistance if they are within the 1 second window, because of course, if you're not within 1 second of the car in front, you will not receive the DRS assistance. But yeah, just fuel and DRS is all these guys are going to rely on to make overtakes.
Magic Man's going to be one of the next. Who's just popped up? Lando on the hard tyres, a 40.1. That's a pretty good lap from Lando. Obviously, Lando is the teammate of Easton, and we'll be looking to kind of get one over his Mercedes teammate, I would feel, Primus, after he was beaten to the championship in the F1 division.
I think
opportunity to maybe get close to him.
What really hurt Lando's chances of winning the championship was probably his incident in Russia. That spin on the very opening lap, which involved a lot of cars. Speaking of the Magic Man, by the way, improved by 1.3 seconds up into P7. But yeah, that I think that really did harm his... I mean, it did put a damper on his progress on maybe fighting for the championship, but he still fought valiantly all the way to the point where, unfortunately, Easton just managed to edge it out and beat him to it. But there's always next season when it is next year actually, where he can try again to hopefully grab the crown to become the next F1 champion. Quick onboard for you, Brundle. I think Haroldinho is actually about to do it. Nope, that's not Haroldinho, that's his teammate. Haroldinho
Invade is just on a second lap.
Oh, so we could go on board with Invade while you carry on with the rest of the grid?
Yes, so popping down, so we've got Lando in the BWT pink car, very similar to the Racing Point you will see. He's obviously, we mentioned, teammate of Easton in the F1 division. He is partnered with Old Manzi, who I know from the F4 division, so interesting little partnership there. Old Manzi currently down at 15th at the moment, but yet to go on the medium tyres. Next up, I believe we mentioned FRT Invade and Haroldinho. Magic Man and Bodder those are the MP Motorsport cars, I believe.
Think so. Yeah, they're
the dark orange. Mentioned the Premers. I think the only other team we haven't mentioned is the yellow team.
Uni Virtuosi.
mini Renaults. They look like mini Renaults.
They are mini Renaults practically. But yeah, the Uni Virtuosi drivers of Mr. Pigeon Munch and KTS Draco. Unfortunately, though, Draco did suffer a horrible incident going into turns 4. So that we've seen famous spins in real life there, consisting of Sebastian Vettel when he was battling Lewis Hamilton 2018, and also recently in the Sakir Grand Prix where Charles Leclerc, Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen tried to go through, made contact, and then that's all she wrote.
Ooh. I was just on board with RSF1 Vettel there, who is obviously could be the potential front runners to beat Easton's time. He unfortunately invalidated through turn 4. Got plenty of time to go around again. Still 4 minutes to go. FRT Invade retires from 6th place. Field changing all the time because everyone's now on the medium compound tyre, so need to keep on it. And who's going to be next to complete a lap?
It looks like Mr. Pigeon Munch is about to begin his on board. By the looks of it, he's going to cross the line. Yep, that's Pigeon Munch. Would you like the honours or would you like me?
You go for it.
Rightio, on board with Mr. Pigeon Munch. As he approaches turn 1, he brakes just quite heavily, locks up on the front right-hand tyre, but he gets a bit of a wide entrance into turn 1. Clip the apex through turns 2. Oh, a little bit of overstick coming out turn 3, pushing into the DRS zone. So this is very crucial in the race for overtakes, as well as the main straight. And after turns 10, turns 4, a very difficult one in terms of traction, because again, if you apply too much, these cars will lose it, and also these curbs can be quite harsh on you as well if you don't take it correctly. Pushing through the mid sector, he doesn't go fastest, but I think he's improved on his time as well. Prost has retired in 10th position. Lock up again on the right tyre as he's now going through turns 8. Bit of a gearing issue there with him, but he managed to recover. Now turns 9 into 10. Lock up on the front left. That's quite heavy on the tyre. But luckily, he's still keeping the momentum going. Mr. Pigeon Munch pushes on the F1 driver now through the second DRS zone, and now he's going to push into probably the most difficult part of the track other than turn 10. And now he applies onto the throttle, keeps nice decent lines. Careful with that curb on the right hand side. Does go fastest in the second sector, so Pigeon did do really good there. Again, a lock up on the right tyre. I think that might have costed him a little bit of momentum going into the straight, the final straight before the second to last corner. And here we go through the second to last corner, now the last one, even though it does look like just one normal corner. On the power and with the DRS assistance, Mr. Pigeon Munch crosses the line and goes third fastest.
With
Incredible.
one lap. He's done one lap. That's his one and only lap in the whole of qualifying. He's gone third.
Round of applause for that man.
Who's about to cross the line? I'm confused between the dark blue.
Sorry guys, I hate to interrupt this, but I just need to make a special mention. We have just been donated $50 on the stream.
Wait, what?
What? Go on.
A user called MOITA Maya Caps has donated $50 to us.
Thank you so much.
Jeez, thank you so much.
50,
Honestly,
that's the first ever donation we received, and that's $50.
Wow.
Seriously, from the bottom of our hearts at RSF1, because we do this for fun, because we love Formula One. And the fact that you have decided to donate $50 of your money to us is hugely appreciated. So big shout out to you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Lando has taken pole position away from Easton by 0.4 of a second, 39.1. Meantime, can anybody get close to him? Legends, with his one and only lap in qualifying, is about to complete as well. He pops up to 9th place and still has time enough to go again because there's 23 seconds after qualifying.
I'm sorry, I'm still flabbergasted by that donation.
Yeah.
But that's the first ever time I've been on stream and I've heard that we've received a donation. It's truly a special moment because I just thought people just enjoyed our content, for free. We love doing it for free, and to see that, it's truly a wonderful feeling.
What's that in UK money? That's about
maybe £35, £40.
Jeez. I mean,
old
anything is
Manzi.
very gracious, but
Old Manzi. I mean, I wasn't even expecting any donations. I was just happy doing this for the fun of it. I mean, F2 cars, our first proper team up. Where we've got Raikkonen in there as well, so we've got a great trio. We're all having fun. Got an amazing evening ahead of us. And the last thing I was going to think is us getting money. It's the last thing I thought.
Well, I'm just
Vettel pops up to third.
I'm just
Meantime,
not going to log on to the account now and just double check that as well. But I'm not doubting it. It's just very interesting. It's never come up on our stream before, and if it is,
yeah.
I didn't even know we had receive any money for it. Lando does improve up into a 138.7, so he does hold pole. Easton will not continue, so he retires second, Brundle. Vettel still holds third place, but the thing is Pigeon. Oh no, Pigeon invalidated.
Legends, here comes Legends.
IGN
Legends is going to bump
Oh!
up to fourth.
And that's it.
Yes, it is.
I'll remember
Yeah,
the
it
screenshots.
is. Yeah, Lando takes pole position by quite a considerable margin, by the looks of it as well. 0.7 of a second over his Mercedes F1 teammate there, but a very interesting grid ahead of us. Maybe a few didn't get their qualifying laps in. Obviously a few lockups and a few mistakes, but Lando in that BWT pink car is
just saying,
taking pole position and 4 points.
because of the Duffer, it is not a new sight for me. For me in F4, it's normally either Dufferlump, Prost, or Eagle that normally takes top of the table. Actually, no, sometimes I have to give a massive mention to Monster Skyline and Cooper Benz. They make an appearance up there as well. But to see a pink car on top of a grid, I'm no stranger to. Obviously, for other divisions where the pink cars don't really get on top, I know it's a completely different sight for you.
And there is your grid, and as you can see, Lando with his 4 points of 138.790, 0.7 ahead of his former teammate, still teammates, Easton in the Campos racing car. Then we have COD. Look at the spread of the teams.
I love the spread.
It's ridiculous. Is it top? Is that top 10 all different teams?
That is,
It
yes.
is.
Every single car in the top
Wow.
10 is a different car.
Who done these teams?
What do
They're
you mean,
brilliant.
What do you mean? Who done them? It was a
You.
randomizer.
Randomizer.
For
I used it. I got Connor Todd actually gave me the link for this website, and I punched the names in, I punched the teams in, and I just pressed randomize, and boom.
quick question, Raikkonen. Meanwhile, and also Brundle, because you've got the number counter on the stream. How many people are with us at the moment? Because we first started off with 16.
18.
29.
Nice. Oh, and it's bright now.
I was gonna say Raikkonen has probably more update. Because remember the feature race is early in the afternoon
Yeah,
normally.
I forgot about that.
So the sprint race is going to be under the floodlights, I believe.
Yeah, I'm normally
be
used
interested
to.
to see if there's any blinding corners.
Yeah, I was going to say there's more than one track. I mean, Austria, turn 1, that can be quite blinding when it's that kind of weather. Mexico, I'd say. Would you say Mexico, turn 1? Because that can be quite bright.
Yeah, possibly. So might be a little bit different for the guys with in terms of their vision, and they're turning into corners, and obviously under the floodlights a little bit different to say. It's really weird seeing it like during the day, isn't it?
It
is
is.
like
It's back in the days when it used to be in the daylight.
2013. I think it was the last time.
Obviously, things have changed now with some tracks, especially Bahrain, where they've changed the time of the day during the racing. Obviously, Singapore being the only track on the F1 calendar that has always remained a night race. Meanwhile, other seasons within Formula One, as Brundle just said, 2013 was the last time we saw a daytime race in Bahrain. I do actually miss that time, with the old V8 engines in Formula One. But then again, everyone got quite. I mean, it's kind of like now. I mean, obviously, I don't want to doubt Mercedes. They are a good team. But obviously, back in the day, around 2010 to 13, Red Bull was basically the Mercedes of then, and everyone kind of got sick of Red Bull.
didn't get time to run through the entire grid, but obviously we all had the formation lap, as we always do. Obviously noticing a lot of the F1 drivers near the top. I mean, I'd expect them. They had obviously the natural pace, which has moved on to the F2 cars, but Contrastafi, F2 driver up there in 5th place. Got to give a particular shout out to Bodder. First race I've seen him race in quite a long time, and he's popped it in 8th place in the MP Motorsport car.
Top job.
Yeah, very, very good. Obviously got the race to go as well. Obviously unfortunate for Draco in that qualifying. Didn't see what he got to
P20. He did unfortunately crash in the early stages. I think it was 19 minutes left of the lobby. He did crash in qualifying, so he didn't get to set a time at all. So he will be starting at the very back of the grid. But luck could change, because remember, we can't say it's all over, because anything could change in this Grand Prix.
Of course. So the guys are ready up. We are about to get things underway for the first race of tonight. It's the feature race. It's a 50% race, so slightly longer, obviously, in distance. Everybody has to make a compulsory pit stop at the beginning, and they're off on their formation lap. Do you want to take us through the grid, please, Primus?
Rightio, going from the back of the grid, it is KTS Draco. Unfortunately, did have a bit of a poor start to the day with that crash in the qualifying, but looking to maybe make a comeback in this feature race today. In 19th is Old Manzi. Old Manzi did try his best in the quali, but unfortunately he just couldn't get that extra bit of pace up the car, but hopefully he'll be able to make up some ground. 18th is Little Sparks. 17th is Lukey. 16th is Timmer in the black and orange car. 15th is one of my rivals in F4, RS Prost. He's right in 15th in his Carlin. I imagine he's going to try and get some overtakes in on the early stages. 14th is Haldino. 13th is LR Evo, who rides in the car of the F2 champion Mick Schumacher. 12th is the Magic Man, the Season 1 F2 champion of RSF1. He will be starting in 12th position. 11th is RSF1 Locker. In 10th is LR Blazer Guns, who is also in a Prema, but in 10th position on the hard compound tyre. 9th is FRT Invade, who did have a very good qualifying. He's in P9. 8th is the magical commentator who I got to work with in Season 1 from the start of my commentating career, is Bodder. First time back as well. I'm racing, as Brundle said. Good to see him in 8th position. 7th is Connor Todd, a person I'm familiar with. Very good performance from him. He's in 7th place. Probably one of the most interesting drivers on the grid, Mr. Pigeon Munch. I still remember his Japan race in Season 2 when he put on the intermediate tyres and managed to flunk past all of the other drivers on the wet tyres, made the gamble and won the Grand Prix. 15th is Gruntastrophe, your teammate, Brundle, in P5. In 4th
Thanks
is...
for reminding me.
In 4th is IGN Legends. In 3rd is the man who always loves to hear Elements formation laps and make Star Wars reference. It's RSF1 Vettel. In P2, it's the Season 3 F1 champion. It's RSF1 Easton. And in P1, his teammate, who it was the runner-up in the championship for Season 3 in the F1 championship, it is RSF1 Lando, who will be rocking the BWT pink car, which would be a racing point if it was Formula 1 cars, but he'll be starting on pole.
Thank you very much. For the sprint race, we're going to change things up a little. I will do the formation lap, and Primus will do the first lap. But for the first lap of the feature race, you're going to have my beautiful voice. I said that far too enthusiastically.
No worries.
Lando starting on the medium tyre, wants to get the gap away from the two behind him who start on the hard tyre, Easton and Vettel, with IGN Legends on the medium compound as well. So everyone on the mediums has to go on hards, and mediums to hards to medium, so on and so forth. We are set and ready to go for the first race of the evening.
Oh, we're not getting units, are we?
Codemasters aren't going to play with us.
Oh no, here we go.
Are they? I can't see the lights.
Neither can I.
Oh well. Lights out of the way we go. And a great start from the Carlin of Vettel. Up on the inside, but Easton has taken the lead away from IGN Legends. Lando has dropped back from his pole position as we go into turn 1. And Easton and Legends going running side by side. Still running side by side through turn 2 and 3. Legends on the medium compound tyre want to get into the lead quick, sharpish, and we're very clean through turn 1.
Clean start, beautiful job, lads.
Oh, going up through turn 4. These two are still side by side.
Oh,
great
contact!
racing so far. There's a car off in the background. There's
Pigeon!
damage. I think it was Pigeon Munch dropping down the grid as we're still side by side between these two. This is absolutely ridiculous. And then in comes Gruntastrophe trying to lunge on the pair of them. Late breaking into the hairpin. There's a car off in the background
FRT
as well.
wide.
Yellow flags going on. But what energetic start. Draco's up to 9th place, up 11 places.
Too late going into turn 10. Hits the back of IGN Legends' car and going down that straight, Brundle. It looks like Easton might just get that run on him through the second sector. Because remember, the sectors leading up to turn 10 is an aero-based moment, and Gruntastrophe's now got wing damage.
Oh, it's going to be very, very painful, especially on these cars. He had such a good start and just got caught out by the braking of IGN Legends. It's braked far too late, the double apex left-hander. And now Easton's going to be all over him like a rush. Draco, what a start. Up 10 places on the back of the grid.
Don't forget Lando. Lando's got the better traction coming out of turn 10. And he's right on the back of Easton. But worse, Gruntastrophe, he's just gone very wide off the track there. But he still holds
He'll be in the
P2.
pits, surely. He'll be in the pits, surely. But I'm not sure the mediums can go to the end. So he's gonna hang it out by the looks of it.
Oh, it looks like a move's going to be made going into turn 1, because it looks like RSF1 Easton's got the speed, the slipstream, late braking into turn 1, and he makes the move down the inside, but it looks like Gruntastrophe, he's going to have the better the line, going through turns 1, but because of the lack of aero, he can't really properly respond going into turns 3, and he has to go back down to P3, but he's got the slipstream on, and Easton's car going down the inside into turn 4. He's going to go, someone locks up in front, down the inside. Oh, look at Lando getting in this action!
Oh.
What am I watching?
This is incredible!
Timing pages are going to all,
Yeah, it's gone a little bit topsy-turvy.
mess up.
That's Formula 1 for you. Oh, it's a little move down the inside.
Lando.
A little peak by Lando on Gruntastrophe. Gruntastrophe's holding quite well, especially with that wing damage. But unfortunately, because Easton did manage to catch him out a little bit beforehand, he can't really make a move to reclaim, but he can still defend. The DRS assistance now out of turns 10, sorry. I think I accidentally called that right-hander turns 10, so that was my bad. But, Pigeon's made the early pit stop. He did sustain wing damage, though.
Yeah, quite a few in the pits. Locker, both the mini Renaults, as Gruntastrophe with that wing damage, heavily understeers wide, and Lando's up on the inside.
Impressive.
Give the present early.
Impressive by IGN Legends.
Gruntastrophe, on those hard medium tyres, getting better traction. Hard medium tyres? No, hard compound tyres. On the inside, but drifts wide on the exit.
Oh.
So isn't managed to keep the position.
Vettel!
He's hanging out in there though.
It's Vettel! As he goes down the straight, he's going to have the DRS assistance, but he can't use it. I think he's got DRS failure, so he's actually going to have to rely on slipstream. He makes the move down the inside. Gruntastrophe has no way to respond to that. He's going to try and hold it, but because of the fact that Vettel... Oh no, Vettel got damage as well!
Yeah, slight wing damage on board the Carlin of Vettel. As Conor Todd is now looking at Gruntastrophe. Gruntastrophe's doing relatively well as Blazer picks up the first time penalty of the day. The evening. It is the evening. I got confused because it's daylight. It hurts my eyes. The sunshine. Lando with a 3-second time penalty as well.
Going on board with the car of the Trident of Conor Todd, who will be sitting in the space of Roy Nissany as he's going down to turns 10. Gruntastrophe again has a bit of a hard time with that damage, but luckily it looks like he's keeping back the Trident.
Alright, battle for the lead side. So to cut across you, Easton is up on the inside through turn 11, I think that is, up on the inside of Legends, and has taken the lead despite being on the hard compounded tyres.
Don't rule out Legends just yet.
Yeah, Easton absolutely flying at the moment. These two really need to be ahead of him, but Easton doing the job.
And it looks like Lando, he's staying really nice and close to these lads. And with the slipstream, it doesn't look like IGN Legends will be able to take it. Oh no! We have a car down into first sector. Oh, that's LR Evo, the car of Mick Schumacher, the F2 champion, has spun out in the first sector. Oh, battle for the lead again, Brundle, as he's going to send it on the inside line going into turn 1. IGN Legends just has a little bit of speed, makes the move, gets past Easton. Lando makes a late move down the inside with Easton. He's on the medium compound tyre, so he has got the grip advantage. He hangs it around the outside, gets past Easton at turn 3.
Lovely move from Lando. This is absolutely brilliant racing so far. Absolutely clean as a whistle as well. There's battles all over the field. I'd love to have a look at all of them at the moment. We've got Contrastrophe going wide. Once again, that damage still hampering him. But he's in a freeway battle with Konatod and Vettel. Further back, you get Little Sparks and Blazer. It's great racing so far, but the leaders are so close. We've got to keep on this.
Literally, just as we was having a look at...
Oh, Lando!
I did say earlier, wrong application of throttle, and it will punish you. And unfortunately, Lando is the first to discover this, especially if it's the battle for the top 3, because this is going to be quite vital in terms of points here. And right now, it looks like, unfortunately, Lando has to make that work back up all over again. But again, tyre grip advantage will be staying close to IGN Legends and Easton, because with that mistake, he's only 0.4 of a second behind Easton. So the championship rivals in F1 duke it out in F2 cars.
It's great. There's a lovely little freeway scrap between Blazer, Bodder and Timmer, which I would love to see. But these three are still swapping positions every corner almost. It's ridiculous. All the groups at the moment.
Konatod has got an extremely close to Catastrophe, gets a really good run at the last corner. Oh, look at that, selling the dummy. It looks like Easton and Lando tried to sell the dummy on each other. Gonna have to go on board with these two. No, not close enough to make a move yet. Konatod down the inside on Catastrophe going into turn 1. It looks like Catastrophe can't defend. Late braking from Connor, and it puts him up into P4.
So Legends with that early stop onto the hard tyres. Lando again on the inside of Easton through turn 4. These two can't get enough of each other at the moment. And in comes... Can he get the move done before turn 5? This is going to be quite close through the S section. Someone's going to have to pull out. No, they're not. They're going to go side by side between each other. And Lando makes the move. Great stuff from Easton, giving him the space to work that move. But Lando retakes the lead. Back onto lap 5 already. Legends came out in tons and tons of clean air on the hard tyres, but just got passed by Haroldinho.
He's just come out the pits and he's instantly got massive wing damage. He must have made contact.
He was quite close. It was quite close to Haroldinho, who's already... Has Haroldinho already stopped?
Yeah,
he has. Haroldinho's the net leader at the moment.
Technically, it all depends on how Haroldinho keeps a pace. Because remember, he's got a hold off IGN Legends at the moment. He's got old Manzi right behind. Yes, he made the early pit stop, but it all depends. Because if we look at the gap to leader, the pit stop window between Haroldinho and, let's say, Lando is 40 seconds. That's quite a substantial margin. I don't think he'll be net lead, even if Lando pits. I think he'll be very close to it, though.
I'm kind of confused at the moment because it says he's on 0 lap hard tyres. And I know that can't be the case because he must have pitted very early on. As Lando's now in the pits, put it onto the hard tyres.
And Mr. Pigeon Munch receives a 3-second time penalty for receiving multiple warnings on exceeding track limits and cutting corners.
But having a look. So everything else all a little bit spread out. You've got this battle now between Bodder and Blazer Guns for 6th place at the moment. Oh, Blazer, no! Blazer's off.
And that's going to be Tim and Ike's fuel.
Oh, dear. What a shame for Blazer. He was looking pretty good up there in 6th place.
Oh,
drops to 9th and he's at the pit. Yeah, Bodder's up to 6th. All good stuff.
The man is holding off Timmer, a good friend of his, and he has got quite a bit of a gap to Prost. So Prost doing very good as well, because I believe Prost started quite far down the back of the grid, and I need to find the
15th.
Right. Yeah, he's made up 10 positions, and he's in P5, and he's yet to pit.
Side-by-side action between Draco and Magic Martin. This is for 14th place. These guys pitted quite early with the stuff happening on the first lap. Draco does a lovely move, and the exit through turn 5 moves himself into 14th place. Again, so Lando is now Lando is now the highest of those that has stopped at the moment. He's got 9 seconds over Haroldinho, but it's obviously when Easton pits to where the pieces of the jigsaw start to put together.
And Easton has chosen not to. Then again, Easton has got the hard compound tyre, so he doesn't necessarily need to pit yet. Similar to how F1 is, you have to make a mandatory pit stop to change onto a separate compound tyre. But it does mean when Easton does eventually pit, he will have grip advantage on the medium compound tyre. Meanwhile, Lando will be on the hard compound.
Timmer and Bodder pit at both the same time. I believe Bodder should be able to get back out in front.
Yeah, also I think as well, I'm not too sure if I'm right about this, the tyres that they finish on in this race, they start on in the sprint race.
Ah, so they need to be careful
was not aware of that.
I think
how much they push.
I don't think they get a fresh set of tyres for the sprint race.
Ooh.
Apart from this, unless it's the ultra soft.
That's a different ball game.
Yeah. Very different ball game. What's going on? This is Locker and Timmer. Timmer's just come out of the pits onto the hard tyres, and Locker, who's on the mediums at the moment, gets back through. Where's Bodder come out? Bodder's come out
P15, he fell
Timmer.
far back.
Yeah.
That's a surprise.
Ooh, Timmer got a little bit loose at the edge of turn 4 there. Get the car in check though. So this is fascinating how this race is turning out. As
Bodder spun at turn 4.
No.
Oh, Bodder.
It's Bodder.
It's Bodder, and Easton is still
he's got wing
choosing
damage as well.
Yeah, he's going to have to go back
That's
into
a
the
shame.
pits for that. But Easton holds the lead of the Grand Prix. Vettel holds second place. Coulthard third. Catastrophe fourth. Prost fifth. Manzi sixth. Blazer seventh. Lando eighth. Haroldinho ninth. Sparks 10th. Locker 11th. Timmer 12th. Oh, ATS Draco gets past him as well. And so does Magic Mark. So poor Taylor falls down to 14th place. So ATS Draco 12th. Marks 13th. Timmer 14th. Lukey 15th. LR Evo 16th. Bot 17th. Pigeon 18th. FRT 19th, and IGN Legends completes the grid as of lap 8.
Lando makes a move on Blazer Guns. Blazer Guns yet to pit. Lando, who has already pitted, looking in firm control this race. His nearest challenger at the moment is Haroldinho, as Blazer was looking to retaliate for turn 4, but Lando holds him off there. And at the moment it's in, as I said, somewhat controlled, but it depends when Easton pits, where Easton comes out behind Lando, and obviously you've got to include Vettel and Connor Todd in this, because Connor Todd is kind of with the group as well. They'll be on medium tyres and will start catching back up to Lando, depending on what kind of gap he has.
It's looking very close, because the gap between Easton and Lando is 31 seconds and decreasing by the minute due to the hard compound tyre, the fresh ones, versus the 7-lap-old hard compound tyres. So right now Easton is kind of maintaining, but he needs to make the move soon, because if he leaves those hards on for too long, it might be detrimental to the end of the Grand Prix. But then again, if he feels confident in his pace, he could take those tyres to like the last couple of laps, pit them, and then get fresh medium tyres for the start of the sprint race.
Grunt.
Oh,
Grunt sped in the pit lane. He's got a 5-second time penalty, and that's going to hurt him massively as he goes onto these, changing his front wing as well. So long pit stop for Grunt. He's going to be under medium tyres though. Get back, but Lando's absolutely flying. Fastest lap of the race.
And Catastrophe does come out of the pits. It looks like he might just be able to get out ahead of Lil Sparks. It all depends. It's a battle between teammates here now in the ART team. I think due to having that extra bit of thrust of speed down the straight, Catastrophe is behind his own teammate of the day. Or gets close though in turn 1, and Pigeon's left. I'll quickly invite him back.
Yeah, can you check something for me? When did Haroldinho pit? Did he pit on the first lap?
Haroldinho...
Because he's made massive gains, I feel.
Where is he? He's in P8.
He has pitted.
Haroldinho pitted on lap 6. Sorry, lap 5. So he finished lap 5 on the medium compound tyre and then hopped straight onto the hard compound tyre on lap 6 and has been on it since.
Oh, fair enough. Right, so those yet to stop. We've got the front 5 yet to stop and Blazer guns at the moment. And obviously when they pit, all going on to medium tyres, we'll see where they end up.
Vettel and Connor Todd have now chosen to respond by pitting. Now I have to look at Prost and Manzi, because this is going to allow Lando to get past them depending on how quick that stop is, because do remember the pit stops in F2 are not as fast as Formula 1.
They have less pit crew, don't they, to change the tyres?
So it's not as quick and as efficient as you would have a large team. It doesn't look like Vettel's going to be able to get out ahead of Lando. Lando jumps him, and is Lando going to jump Connor? He does!
He's way in front. But the chase is now on Primus, because Connor Todd now is going to lead the chase against Lando on those medium compound tyres.
Yeah, Connor Todd is the only person that's in contention of threatening him, but the problem is depending on how long Blazer Gun chooses to run those hards, Blazer is the only obstacle for Connor, so Blazer could hold him up in that kind of fact and buy Lando that necessary time to chase his own teammate down, catch Prost and Easton, because the gap between the two of them now is still 31.2 seconds. So congrats to Easton for maintaining the pace regardless of his tyre life.
Remember, Lando has that 3-second time penalty. Oh no, it's up to 6 at the moment, so that is going to hurt him as his teammate Old Manzi lets him through on the back straight. Yeah, there we go.
Good work between teammates.
Good teamwork there from BWT. I have noticed as well.
Easton
the
boxes.
Teams
Sorry, I cut in there.
There you go.
The champion of Formula 1 is pitted. Randall, how's Lando looking?
Where is Lando? He's just coming down towards the final corner now. Still pushing. Prost takes the lead because he's yet to pit. Where is Easton going to come out in all this?
Easton's left the pit box. He's pushing down. I don't think Lando's going to jump him.
I think Easton's got this.
Easton might have it, yeah. Oh, S03 invades out. Turn 3. That is going to be a safety car. No, Lando's done it!
No, Lando's got it.
Lando's done it!
Fell for sure.
Trying to be careful with not
sure
raising my voice when Nephew's asleep, but poor FRT invaded.
A shame for him. Where is... We're going to be able to see it from Lando's car on the exit turn 4, no we're not. So,
another
Lando
turn
in the lead.
4.
The rest are pitted as well. Laser Guns, Old Mandy, both in the pits, onto the mediums. And they've come out in 11th and 12th place.
Oh, Lukey's received a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Oh.
Yeah. So, only Prost, who has taken his hard tyres 10 laps at the moment, is yet to pit. When would he come out on all this? So Lando is the net leader. Easton second, chasing him down. But it's currently within the 6 seconds anyway. Connor Todd is currently third. Then you got Vettel in fifth. Harold Dino up to 6th place, which would be a net 5th, I think. Then we've got Grunt, Little Sparks, Magic Mark, and Draco, the current top 10. Remember, 8th place gets pole position in the sprint race, and that's going to be highly contested towards the end of this race.
So Little Sparks is looking quite good for the start of the Grand Prix. For the sprint race, but Magic Marks is quite close. So it could be the first time we've seen the Season 1 F2 champion get on pole since his heyday back in Season 1. And he's actually keeping a good gap between himself and Sparks, because at this rate, Marks will jump into 8th position.
Todd, fastest lap of the race. Remember, all these points will count, especially with the fact, as I've noticed again, that the teams are very much spread. There's a spin. Oh, Lukey's off. Lukey's out. Through, what turn is that? Turn 7?
That is... Yeah, that's turn 7, I think. So that's turn 4, 5, 6, 7. That's turn 8.
No,
he's crashed out at turn 8.
Yeah.
No safety car, however, so we still carry on. I don't think the safety car's on,
the
is it?
safety cars are not switched on, I'm afraid.
Okay, so if any incidents
no safety
happen,
car.
it is not deemed a virtual or a normal safety car. So, unfortunately, if anything happens, it's just how the cookie crumbles.
Yep.
And my timing pages have all completely gone kaput.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
But by the looks of it, Easton is still holding the same amount of pace between himself and Lando since he came out of the pits. It doesn't look like Easton's really made too much ground yet, but with those fresh mediums on, I think Easton will have a good sector here. He's actually 9/10 up on his previous best.
The battle for 8th place and pole position in the sprint race, I think, is going to heat up here, Primus, because you've got Little Sparks currently holding on to it at the moment, but then you've got Magic Mark and Draco who are slowly catching him up as well. Another battle will be Gontastrophe, who is slowly catching up to Haroldinho for 5th place.
There we go. We got our timing back. 2.6 seconds separate the lead, and I have to give KTS Draco credit where it's due. Starting from last place on the grid, he is chasing Magic Marks down for P9.
Yeah, very good. Prost might be making a move as well, because he went long on those hard tyres. He's going to have the rewards now of fresher tyres compared to everyone else. There's Gontastrophe gets a very slide out of turn 1 there in his ART, chasing down Haroldinho for 5th place.
Such gripping racing of these cars. They're equal in terms of performance. I think it's so fun. They're just amazing cars. I love the real life F2. It looks like Gontastrophe has just caught out Haroldinho, because Haroldinho is having a poor middle sector there and instantly jumped right into the gearbox of the Dam's car, and it looks like he's going to maybe try and have a little look on making a move down the straight, but he's biding his time. He's using his patience. Gets really good traction out of turns 10, don't you agree?
Yeah, he's very cautious going in that double left-hander, because remember he had a collision there early on in the race, which I think has cost him in this race. Otherwise he'll be with the front group, I would reckon.
Possible
Yeah,
podium.
he's biding his time over Haroldinho, who's suffering now on those hard tyres. You can see the grip difference, but
Haroldinho is holding very well.
Yeah,
Ooh,
Easton's
Easton.
fastest lap of the race.
That's vital.
Yeah. He's well within those 6 seconds at the moment, wants the fastest lap. As Grunt's going to have a move.
Oh,
Careful!
contact!
Oh, taps the back of Haroldinho.
But he's got the better
get
runs, it looks like.
damage?
Contact did send Haroldinho into a little bit of trouble. DRS assistance, because he was in the activation zone. Gontastrophe moves up into 5th, but he has got the penalty, so Haroldinho can only really just keep up with him, and he'll just jump him again across the line.
Yeah, slight contact. Obviously, Haroldinho had to brake earlier for that last corner. So Grant got a little bit caught out by that. Luckily for him, kept the wing intact, so Haroldinho drops to 6th. He's going to have Prost behind him quite soon. And Magic Mark is within a second of Little Sparks for that 8th place.
Just to notify to you, Brundle, Easton is now dropping. He was 2.7 seconds behind Lando when we got the intervals back, but he's now dropped down to 3.1. So Easton must have had a poor corner somewhere where it lost him a little bit of time and allowed Lando to extend his lead. But still, that 6-second time penalty, Easton still will jump and take the win if he can hold the gap.
Yeah, I think Easton, he probably knows the situation. I have noticed again how much the teams have spread Primus.
Yeah.
Constructors is anybody, but it looks to be... They're the one Proster team, because again, those blues kind of mess me.
They're the only team. The Carlin team are the only ones to be actually relatively close to each other in terms of the grid.
And the ART.
Yeah.
Grunt and Little Sparks.
Yeah, ART and Carlin are doing quite well. Vettel takes fastest lap of the race, actually. That snatched it right from Easton's fingers.
Yeah, I've got to put it on penalties now. Yeah, Grunt's 8 seconds is actually going to drop him down a bit compared to everyone else around him. Might actually lose out on his on the top 8. So Magic Mark, even though he's right behind Little Sparks, might get 8th anyway if he can't make a move.
Yeah, he just needs to hold his ground, because if I have a quick look at Marx's penalty situation, Marx has got 2 warnings.
Ooh.
So he is close to it, but if he keeps his head down, actually we're going to see a move here. He's not willing to sit behind. He's going to make the move. Little Sparks holds the inside line going down to turn 4. Magic Marks tries to go around the outside, but he has a little bit of poor braking, and he has to hold back for just a moment. But Little Sparks has left the door open, coming down to the end of the first sector, and Marks just has to bide his time.
Doesn't need to make this move, but obviously he wants to get as many positions as he can.
He's getting really close. I don't think as I said, Marx is not the sort of person who'd be satisfied with beating someone on the penalties. He'd rather make the overtake himself. And speaking of the lead, by the way, because I just realised something, Easton chopped down a whole second from lap 13 to the final lap.
Yeah, and Lando is on the final lap at the moment. The leader's crossing the line. Monotod in 3rd place. He's been caught a little bit by Vettel in 4th. It's okay, and then a bit of a gap back to Grunt in 5th. Little Sparks of a time penalty. He's being pressured by Magic Mark for this 8th place.
Mark's trying to get a bit of clean air, because that dirty air coming from the car in front of him is having an effect on his performance. It looks like now we'll be able to see a move being made.
Here we go, Magic Mark, Little Sparks. Oh, and
Draco
didn't use correct tyre compounds.
He hasn't.
Did he go hard?
He did.
Oh, he hasn't pitted, according to Raikkonen.
I don't think he's.
No, he went medium. He started on a medium compound tyre, and he went to the hards. He was on the medium compound tyre.
Have a look at it. Have a look at it, Primus, because obviously you got the pit stop thing.
He did. He definitely did start on those tyres.
Oh.
So
that's a weird one then.
I don't understand, because is it like you have to do at least a minimum amount of laps before you pit?
You have to do at least a minimum of 6 laps to make the compulsory stop.
He only did 2 on the medium.
Prost and Haroldinho. Prost has made the move on Haroldinho for 6th place, but the leader, Lando, well, he's not going to be the leader when he crosses the line, because unfortunately the penalties are going to drop him back, which means RSF1 Eastern is going to take the opening race victory away, and fastest lap to boot on the last lap.
Impressive.
140.227. So Easton takes the win. Connor Todd is just going to hold on to Vettel. Vettel was closing him down, but Connor Todd ends up on the podium in P3. Vettel in 4th. Is Grunt going to hold on to 5th? I don't think he is. I think Haroldinho is going to jump Prost and Grunt.
Oh, and an uncertain penalty.
Here. Yeah, sped in the pit lane, didn't he? So Haroldinho 5th. Prost 6th. Gruntastrophe 7th.
Magic Mark's collected the penalty.
Is he going to get 8th?
But he collected 8th position from Lil Sparks. Well done to the Magic Man. He starts pole for the sprint race.
Yeah, he does. Very good
stuff.
stuff.
Blazer as well.
Yeah, Blazer
pick up the last point.
Yeah, Blazer got done for speeding in the pits.
So that means Manzi might jump into the top 10 position. No, he won't, because he's too far back.
He doesn't. Timmer might, though.
Nope, Timmer won't.
Very close. Timmer in 12th, Locker 13th in the end, so... Well, there you go. There's the feature race done.
We've still got a few cars left. Locker does cross the line 13th. LR, Evo, iGym Legends, and Pigeon. But unfortunately, these lads have had a bit of a poor race today. Because they started very strong, especially iGym Legends. He led the Grand Prix. Well, that's the feature race, sorry. And then after an incident with coming out of the pits, he just fell that far back. There you have it, Mr. Pigeon Munch. Oh, he's filtering his way through the race finishing traffic. He's not quite done yet. Pigeon Munch is just taking a little bit of a cruise now, but he's going to try and dodge all the cars.
That's by Vettel, I think that was.
That wasn't
Vettel. Somebody else.
That was Luke. No, it wasn't Luke's car. That probably was Vettel.
There's Pigeon. Gonna be the last finisher to cross the line. 16th place for him. And there we have it.
Oh! It's the back of that car. Makes you cringe there. Haroldinho, no doubt, that was a very good performance. Big sympathies to to Draco, because unfortunately he failed to follow the rules applying to tyres and got disqualified from the session.
Yeah.
And just to think about it, in this lineup, an F5 driver got P5.
It's very interesting as well, yeah.
Oh.
So, as Raikkonen said, obviously, this whole grid is mixed between F1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and to see Haroldinho do an amazing, and also in the top 6, sorry, Prost got 6, he's an F4 driver. Right, Brundle, do you want to take it away with the results of the Sakir feature race? When
it loads. It's still loading for me. I wanted to see the champagne, so there you go.
So, is it loaded for you?
Yes. Yeah, it's loaded for it now. So Easton takes the victory and fastest lap. 27 big points for the Campos Racing driver in first position. Lando second with 18. Connor Todd in the Trident P3. RSF1 Vettel in fourth place with a great drive from Haroldinho up in fifth. Prost ends a good day for Carlin. They probably will lead the constructors, unless I'm wrong. I'm wrong actually, because Campos Racing will be leading it with Easton 27 points. Contrasti 7th in the ART, followed by Magic Mark in 8th place. Little Sparks 9th place. That comes in 10th, and then the rest outside the points. However, we're not done yet. We've got the sprint race to go.
To be fair, that wasn't as long as I thought it would be. I thought for a race at 50% distance...
It's obviously shorter laps with F2 cars, isn't it?
So there's a less amount of laps over in 100%, so it's thingy. And it's a daytime race again.
So sadly, we're not going to be under those floodlights, Brundle, as much as we'd love it. But interestingly now, Magic Marks starts on pole because of his P8 finish in the feature race. So obviously, once we get into the formation lap, we'll be able to get a proper look at the look at the rest of the grid, which you'll do the formation lap this time, Brundle. Yeah, we'll be able to get a little proper look at who starts where, but I definitely know Easton won't be anywhere in the top 5.
Yep. As it's a sprint race, people don't need to take a pit stop in this one. They all will be on hard tyres, which easily go from start to finish. Obviously, less laps, as it's called sprint. So, as is the name, we are sprinting to the flag from here. Top 8 get points. At the end of the day, we'll see who will be our mini-series champion, I guess. 6 laps. I know it was a sprint race, but geez, it's going to be very
incredibly
sprinty.
Short.
Yeah. So there we go. This might be short and sweet. So KTS Draco starts on in 20th place. You were right, actually, Raikkonen, because he's on the medium tyre. Obviously, you get 2. Anyway, Draco in 20th. 19th for FRT in Vade. And then we got Lukey. It's all bunching up on the formation lap here in 18th place. Botta in 17th in the MP Motorsport car with Pigeon Munch in 16th in the Mini Renault. IGN Legends will start 15th in this race with LR Evo just ahead of him in the Prima car in 14th. Then we've got Locker in 13th, followed by Timmer in 12th, and Old Manzi in 11th. Then 10th place for LR Blazer Guns. Obviously finished 10th, so we'll start 10th. And then we've got Little Sparks in 9th place. And then, as you can probably figure out, we have the top 8 in the last race reversed. So our race winner from the feature race will start in P8. He's going to work his way through as carefully and as quickly as he can in 8th. Then we've got Lando in 7th place. Connor Todd will start in 6th. Then the first of the Carlin cars, RSF1 Vettel in P5. Haroldinho will start in 4th place. And you saw how good he was in the first race. Can he move on into the podium potentially? But in those podium slots at the moment, starting on the grid, we've got Prost in the second of the Carlin cars. Gonchastovi in his ART, and then Magic Mark, as reward for finishing 8th, will start pole in this sprint race. And it is definitely going to be a sprint. 6 laps. Jeez. Might be a bit hectic. Hopefully people keep it clean. They were quite clean in that first race, so I think everything's going to be fine. But
credit where it's due. For the first, until turn 4. After turn 4 is when some bits of contact did come out. But from turn 4, it was all going to happen in turn 1. So I have to give the lads big credit where it's due. They all had a very clean start until they got to that to turn 4. But you know, normally most things happen on the first corner. To see a nice controlled launch.
Primus.
Yes.
Sorry to go across here. I just realised why we didn't get the lights. There is none.
Oh.
I just realised the gantry where the lights normally are.
Yep.
There isn't any.
So we're going to have to just go by pure guesswork once they apply some throttle.
Yeah.
So here we are for the sprint race of the F2 special event. By the looks of it, it's probably going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I'm guessing here because there's no blooming lights. But
We're not revving yet, so...
Here we go. With the start hopefully happening now. Who's going to start us off? Where's the geezer with the flag? Get us going, mate.
Oh no, don't tell me.
Hopefully it's not happened. Yeah, this did happen because it did show the grid on the side. So this definitely happened before. Just give it a minute. It might be all right. Come on.
There's a car missing.
There's a card missing, and Connor Todd is not in the right spot.
The game did...
Oh, there we go. There we go. He's back in his slot.
The game did calculate this, so unfortunately this was a game calculated. IGN Legends got 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go for the F2 sprint race for the special event. Grantashfi gets a really good run going down to turn 1. Magic Marks tries to cover off on the outside, but looks like Grantashfi gets that launch, moves down into the lead into turn 1. But Prost is given a little challenge going around the outside. Grantashfi gets a little wiggle. It's going to allow the Carlin to get close. Haroldinho goes around the outside of Magic Marks. Unfortunately, he has to surrender the position because that was an outside overtake. Easton jumps up to 5th place. He passes Haroldinho, but he's on the back of Connor Todd going into turn 4. It looks like Easton's going to send it completely on Connor Todd, but Connor Todd is holding firmly. As we go into the next sector zone, Connor Todd backs off. Lets Easton up into 4th place. So as it stands from that one, Catastrophe first. Oh, looks like
Lando.
What's happened to Lando?
Sorry, Lando was drifting through the S. Carry on.
Manages to not sustain damage, holds it down the inside of his teammate, almost makes contact, and it's quite bunched up in the mid-sector. We're going 4 wide into turn 10, and this is quite heavy, and it looks like he unfortunately loses out to Pigeon Munch, makes contact with him actually. IGN Legends does rejoin, but as it stands from lap 1, from the start, Grantashfi leads, Prost 2nd, Magic Marks 3rd, Easton 4th, Connor 5th, Haroldinho 6th, Vettel 7th, Lukey 8th, Sparks 9th. Oh, actually, never mind for 9th. FRT Invade moves it up into the position. Mr. Pigeon Munch takes 9th position.
It's chaos in this midfield. Lukey's up 10 places. Sparks has got damage. He's effectively out of this race because of how short it is. Lukey's up to 8th. He's had a I was going to say horrific. No, brilliant start.
He had a hectic start, to be fair.
That was the word.
Because it was quite packed up, so I imagine all the drivers were quite nervous.
Easton go for a move.
Positions.
Easton go for a move on Magic Mark, I believe, for 3rd place, even though it says 2nd, because guys are in the pits. Unfortunately, there were a bit of contact through the midfield.
Oh, Easton's going to move on Prost for 2nd place. Prost gets a poor run out of turn 3. Going up into turn 4. Can Prost hold off the F1 champion? Down the inside goes Easton. Prost tries to cover him off, but due to the fact that Easton just got that brilliant traction coming out of turn 3, it just allowed him to launch straight up, and now he's right back on the charge. Could be looking at a double victory from the feature and this sprint race from Easton, because it's looking probable he's catching up to Catastrophe.
Yep, into 2nd place already. Let the timing pages sort themselves out. We're already on lap... Can't be already on lap 3. Must be on lap 2.
No, we're on lap 2.
Draco.
We're on lap 2, yeah.
Draco around the outside on turn 10 with FRT Invade. FRT Invade makes a mistake.
Oh.
We've got a car as Pigeon.
Pigeon gone straight off.
I think there might have been
Double
some
left-hander.
contact there because Pigeon just went straight off. Lando receives a 10-second time penalty. That's harsh. For exceeding
where
track
is that?
limits, a 10-second penalty.
Prost is being climbed all over the back by Magic Mark, and Magic Mark swoops on the run down to the last corner.
Magic
Prost
Man.
is being attacked from every single angle.
Connor Todd is getting in this action because it looks like Magic Mark's caught Prost off. Like, look at that, it's a freeway battle. Look at this. Prost is getting the slipstream off of Marks. Connor's getting the slipstream off of Prost. Are we looking at a free wide going to the... No, don't do that, please.
Marker breaks himself.
Oh, no. And there's
Prost back.
contact between the Carlin.
Oh.
Prost to third, Vettel to fifth, fourth, and look at that. Team orders might come into play. Vettel going down the inside on his teammate. Come on, don't hit each other, your teammates, for goodness sake. They're racing each other. The two Carlin, they want to stick it out. Lando, unfortunately, has retired from the session. That's the end of his race today in the sprint race. We're already halfway through lap 3 of 6, Brundle. This is quick.
It is. It's a little bit hectic, a little bit chaotic,
no.
probably because of how few laps there is.
Draco and FRT Invade going into turn 4, Brundle. Sorry to cut in there. They were both fighting each other, clipped each other, and both went into the wall.
Oof.
Big oofs.
So we are starting to get the battles at the moment. So we got Easton trying to chase down Grandtastrophe in the top 2. Then we got both the Carlins of Vettel and Prost third and fourth. Connor in 5th. Haldinho 6th. Mark in 7th. Lukey, out of those massive gains on the first lap, is up to 8th place and in the last points playing position at the moment. With Old Man's in 9th and then Bodda.
Bodda getting into 10th position, especially if starting around the P18 mark. Bodda making a good comeback and a very good gain there because he looks like he's pressuring. We
Mark's
just lost
gotta move,
Draco. Someone out at turn 9.
Yep.
Hopefully that doesn't impede the other drivers going through that corner.
Mark and Haroldinho running side by side down the main straight. Mark looking for a move to go into 6th place on Haroldinho. Haroldinho's got, I think, a little bit of wing damage as well. But Haroldinho trying to keep it on the outside, gets a little bit of traction problems through turn 2. So Mark gets the position. And I think Lukey might be having a look as well up to turn 4. No, too far back this time. As Connor's putting pressure on the... Yeah, very good respect.
Oh! Did you just see that? Lukey just got off the curb, applied the throttle, and fought the car. A little bit of a stab there to the left there to save the car. Unfortunately, that move did pay off. And have a little look at Haroldinho, Brundle. Still holding close to Marks, even with that damage.
Yeah, Connor Todd has damage as well.
Is anybody using the Super Softs?
No one's used Super Soft
no.
at all, which is a shame.
No, it's either hards or mediums, I think.
I think
At the moment,
if we go to other
Prost
tracks,
hanging on to that 4th place.
we might see the Super Soft being used, but I think just because of this certain track, I think the tyre compounds the FIA would provide would be the mediums and the hards.
36 viewers, by the way, for this at the moment. Very good stuff.
Been a good day. Good viewers, a donation. This is a great way to
I'm actually looked into the donation. I don't think it's actually a real donation. I think it was a message. I can't see no confirmation on the account.
Fair enough. Easton having a little bit of a run on Grandtastrophe. He only got 2 more laps to go of this, so he doesn't have a lot more time left in it, and Grunt doesn't have a penalty either. Grunt gets a little bit sideways through turn 2. Might have a chance for Easton. But now it'll be too far back going into turn 4. Vettel is slowly catching on the pair and got Prost and Connor Todd. Prost tried to defend up on the inside. You see the lick of flame behind Connor Todd's car there as he makes the move into 4th place ahead of Prost, who's still in 5th. Still doing well for the Carlin boys. Carlin looking strong.
They're not turbo cars actually. They're V6s.
Really?
Oh.
Hang on, let me just.
Because when they let go of the throttle at high speed, you hear the noise.
It could be overrun.
Which, by the way, I just love the sound of these cars. The clicking with the gears, the engines are just brilliant. I mean, I know they've got really, really big alloys, but like, you know.
I tell you what here, Primus. You got Easton, who hasn't found a way past Gruntastrophe, and look who's closing in.
Oh dear!
In that Carlin car. You can look behind, you can see the yellow nose.
Well, I think
as Prost picks up a time penalty.
We'll pick up a little nickname for Vettel here today. I think Mr. Seb. Mr. Seb is catching.
Oh no!
Oh, run! That could be compromising
That's
for
so
the lead.
far wide. He's opened. He ain't opened a door. He's opened a chasm for Easton. But can he actually do it? No, Easton not in the slipstream. Not got DRS either.
Problem.
He's holding off.
That might just protect Gruntastrophe, because it looks like a DRS issue has costed the F1 champion a chance to take the lead. But Gruntastrophe looks like he's struggling for grip completely. But look at Vettel. Vettel must have fallen off somewhere, because he's just fallen down a second behind Easton.
Ooh. Sorry, Connor Todd and Prost going hammer and tong at it between each other.
Okay, back to where we were about talking about the engines. They are a V6 3.4 litre single turbocharged Mechachrome engine.
Ooh! Sorry, Raikkonen and
Prost and Connor. Prost and Connor through turn 5 and 6, side by side between each other, give themselves plenty of room. Got a lovely spectator cam from Magic Mark here. Oh, slight contact through slight rubber tyres. They're both fighting tooth and nail for this 4th place. Into the double left-hander.
Oh,
no! Contact! Oh, there's wing damage as well. It was going so well.
And we're gonna have to
Prost is going to get it through.
We're going to have to go on board with the battle for the lead, because it looks like going through turns turns 13 now. Into turn 14, Easton is trying to attack Gruntastrophe, but Vettel might be able to get a look here, because we have to go on board with Gruntastrophe, as this is the final lap of the sprint race. A very quick race, to be fair. I'm actually quite sad there wasn't any more laps. But Gruntastrophe, the Williams teammate for F2 this season, who has been working with you side by side, he's actually gone wide again, going off the line. Now he crosses the line as the winner of the F2 sprint race. Easton second, Vettel third. Prost, however, Prost has got that penalty. Magic Marks might jump into the top 4. Prost crosses the line. Marks to 4th. What a race!
Conrad 5th, Prost 6th. Lukey up from 18th to 7th. Great race from him. Aldinho picks up 8th place. Old Manzi is going to pick up 9th.
Bodo gets 10th.
The only points. Yeah, points only down to the top 8 though. So that's going to be end of that.
Tell you what, Gruntastrophe, that's a
frantic.
good response. He had a very poor start to the feature race with falling down the back, collecting a penalty, but then battling hard with Easton. Easton won the feature race. He had the pace, but it looks like just because of the dirty air and looks like DRS failure, Easton just could not get by. But what a recovery drive from Vettel. He fell down a bit of the grid a bit this sprint race, but then pushed his way back up into P3, got close, and only just missed out by 0.4 of a second. Imagine if there was another lap. Vettel might have tried to make a move.
I'd have even been challenging for the win as well.
Oh, move by IGN Legends or Blazer Guns. A battle to the end at the back of the grid. Legends crossed 14th, but Blazer, because he had less penalties, moves into 14th position, and LR Evo jumps IGN Legends.
That was brilliant. That was interesting.
What a day. I loved that. I absolutely loved this.
I hope everyone else in the stream chat loved that as well, because
we have got
that was good racing.
To Toto Wolf saying it's better to watch than the F1 races. The amount of close racing that we saw in that one, and I do think next time as well we'll do the quali 50% and then 50% sprint as well, because it did seem a little bit short. But hey ho, it is racing. It is our first time of doing it. I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, and it was good to have you with us. It's not our usual routine of having 3 people in the comms box, but hey, we made it work and it was quite fun.
Yep.
You're going to figure out who's won this, Raikkonen? You're going to add it all up later or something?
Well, if you guys take the screenshots for me and that lot, I'll do it later on.
Well, actually, no, we've got the results now. So from the results
Do we?
of both the sprint race and the feature race, as it stands
Oh.
on top of the table,
Oh, do we?
Easton in first with 39 points. Vettel gets second with 24. Lando third with 22. Connor
yeah.
Todd fourth with 21.
There you go.
Tied with Grantastrophe for fourth, 21 points between the pair. Both got 15th and 6th in
Screenshot that
both
for me.
races. Yep, I'll
Brian,
screenshot it for you.
Screenshot it.
Anyways, carrying on from P6. P6 is Prost with an 8th and P8 and a P4, 12 points, tied with the Season 1 champion of F2. Haroldinho 8th, good consistent points. Apparently, he's in 8th with 11 points. Sparks 9th with 2. Lukey in 10th with 2. Blazer in 11th with 1 point. So, Manzi gets 12th with no points. Same with Bodder in 13th. Locker 14th. Timmer 15th. Evo 16th. IGN Legends 17th. FRT Invade 18th. KTS Draco had quite the day to forget, as well as his teammate Mr. Pigeon Munch.
I think if my maths are correct, by the looks of it, even though Carlin were 4th and 6th, I believe Campos Racing, with just Easton, 39 points, I think have won the Constructors as well.
Very well done to them.
So.
So I think we need to invite the top 3 of the entire weekend, which is Easton, Vettel, and Lando.
Easton, Vettel and Lando. Got him.
If I remember correctly, let me just quickly evaluate the screenshot that I took. Overall, yeah. Easton P1, Vettel P2, Lando P3. So there's...
I lost Lando. Lando left the lobby before I could invite him. No.
So there's...
Yeah, Lando.
Let's see. While we wait for Lando, hopefully if he'll join, do you want to interview Easton Brundle and I'll interview Vettel?
Yeah, who was Easton driving for? Campos, wasn't he?
Yes.
There we go. Well, first of all, Easton, congratulations on this mini-series win, I guess. Obviously, it was a bit of fun after all. Obviously, we needed competitiveness with the points. First of all, how was that for you? Because obviously, slightly different to the usual F1 cars, different type of machinery. Obviously, you handled them very, very well with this overall win. But how are your thoughts at the end of that?
Fun, I suppose. Wasn't really caring to sprint, to be fair. I just let Grunt have the win because he asked for it and I just gave it to him. That's all.
Oh, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
Nah.
Why couldn't you take in the glory with a double win?
Nah. Sportsmanship comes first.
Well, you're a very nice guy, Easton.
Well,
Very nice guy.
it's definitely interesting.
Obviously, take us through the sprint race in particular, because you have to fight your way from 8th place in the on the grid, but worked your way through very, very nicely. Yeah, take us through the opening few laps there, because you made your way up to 4th by lap 2, I think it was.
Yeah, I just sent it. Got a good start and just made my way to the outside and just broke as late as I could and just went round the outside of many people. And then obviously
Definitely.
at the start of lap 2 I flew past Magic Mark because I had lower wings and I've done the same across corners later. So it was a fat dub.
Yeah, very good stuff. I don't know whether there's going to be more of this F2 cars, but if there is, are you interested in potentially doing it again?
Oh yeah, 100%. Love the F2 cars.
Very good. Well, congratulations on some good driving and some good battles that we saw from you, so very well done.
Thank you.
And now,
Go ahead, Primus.
Mr. Vettel. A very rare occasion for me to interview you in an official event. I know this is really
Hang on.
just a...
Stop a moment. It's also a very rare occasion for him to be in the podium box lately.
Ouch!
Well, he either
Right.
spins it or bins it.
Metal.
Right.
Quick
I'm-
question before I
I'm a-
interview you. Do you want cling film or aloe vera for that?
I'll message AJ later. It's alright.
I was going to say I work as a waiter. Do you want some ice? Want some ice with that?
Want some ice for your back? Oh my god. Anyways, Vettel, so again, very unusual that I speak to you in an official manner in terms of a race. You had a decent feature race today, but you really pulled it through in the sprint. But again, decent quality pace as well from you. But take us through your day today, because obviously a bit longer qualifying that you normally do, like a full 30-minute session. Not as long races though, but tell us how it's been for you.
I bottled my Q3, my final lap, fully. And in the feature race, I got stupid wing damage, so I had to change my wing, dropped a bit back. But I was able to gain on Conatot, finish P3. And in both races, sprint and feature race, one more lap and I would have basically overtaken for the lead. Or like feature race P3. In the sprint race, I just heard Easton asking Grunt to go faster because I was gaining. That was quite fun. Yeah, overall I'm happy. I love it. It was
Well,
better than F1.
that drive was really superb, because it's a different setting for you, because obviously you're around some familiar faces such as Easton and Lando, but to see you mixed in the pack with Division 2 to 5 drivers, you know, all of the divisions, it was very interesting to see that your teammate Pross was actually quite good with you. I mean, you coordinated with a driver who's 3 divisions below you.
Yeah, we're in Team Alpha. The RSF1, so it's not like I've not talked to him before.
A question to you both now. Overall, did you have a good time with these cars?
Yes.
Very fun.
I'll tell you what, fun for us. Me, Raikkonen, Brundle and I, great day. And you guys gave us that show, so I'd like to congratulate Easton, obviously, for taking top of the overall weekend. And Vettel for getting second, even with that damage in the feature. And Brundle, I'll now hand over to you for what's next.
You have something next?
Well,
Well, that was it.
I mean, wrapping up.
Oh, okay. I thought I was going to lead to Raikkonen because he introduced and he set this whole thing up, and that's the one. That's the one person we've got to thank as well.
Yeah, we have to give a big round of applause, and everyone who is from the league who's watching today, please give massive respect to Raikkonen for making this happen. Because I tell you what, we had fun.
You're welcome. Absolutely welcome. Been a
Well,
pleasure.
I did anyway.
It's been a pleasure to watch. Right. Next event, as this has seemed to be such a great success, it will be on Wednesday evening. I will confirm track, time, and what sort of cars we'll be using. It might not be F2. I might decide to pull out the classics.
Oh,
AJ.
Or maybe even the
you're
2019
going to put
F2
out classics on me?
Spa. Oh, sorry.
So I'm not going to be influenced by any certain individuals in this party.
Right, Raikkonen, if you're still watching the stream, you know you want to. Look at it.
Yeah, I know.
Look at it.
Yes, but I won't be allowing that car.
Why not? Or that one? No, why that one? Or that one?
No. Try the 3 2010 cars.
Oh, these 3.
Mhm.
Okay, that could be interesting.
That could be very interesting. Well, Patel, if you want to lose, then definitely go in the 2020 Ferrari by all means. Or, if you turn your attention to the B194, the B195, and the FW18.
Their numbers I don't understand, and words I don't understand.
So basically,
Oh, the
he's-
2 Benettons and the 96 Williams.
Mhm.
Damn.
quite equal in performance. Obviously, one's Ford power, one's Renault power. Well, one's Ford and two's Renault.
Yep.
One thing I'm gonna say to you, Raikkonen, if this is the case, if you're gonna choose those cars, you need another streamer.
Absolutely.
A different streamer. You're gonna have a different streamer.
I
want in.
Brundle is going in that Williams.
It's
I know.
Brundle.
Well, we will see about that one, won't we? So I haven't made my mind up yet where we're going to do it. If it is going to be a classic car race, it will be a typical RSF1 lobby. So it'll be a full quali with a 50% race. Obviously, if it's another F2 event, we will go with the obviously full quali and 50-50. So both sessions be 50% because it wasn't. I didn't feel that the sprint race was long enough for re-election to take.
Bad idea.
It's a good thing
sorry.
it was that short.
No. It was a little bit too short. That was all. We weren't to know. So we live and learn. Well, all I can say.
Everything.
All I can say is thank you everyone who's tuned in and watched this, and I really do hope it's been as entertaining for you as what it has for me, and as much of a pleasure to watch as it has for me as well. It was something different, something a bit festive, something out of the ordinary, and I feel that it's had a good vibe across the league.
Definitely.
Okay, Brundle, close the show, sir.
All right, thank you very much. So, yep, so hopefully everyone else has enjoyed the action that we provided you today. A little bit different from our usual F1 stuff. And as Raikkonen has hinted, there will be another stream. I intend to race this time. So,
I hope so
it'll be a
as
different
well.
streamer. It will be a different streamer this time. So we'll see who provides the action on Wednesday night. But until then, as always, take care and keep yourself safe in these difficult times. Hopefully tonight has brought some very much needed relief for a few people. But till next time, take care and good night.
Take care.
Good night, all.